Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the geeks out there, and all geeks, and welcome to a rather different podcast where we are actually recording while driving. Yes, we're driving. Back home, actually. Because we went to go and get Lord of the Rings Extended Edition for ourselves so that we could watch it, and we're not going to talk about that, though. That's not what is to be talked about today. What is going to be talked about today is what, my angel? What are we talking about today?
The birds and the bees.
No, we're not talking about birds and bees. What actually are we talking about today? What game are we discussing?
The birds and the bees game.
We're talking about Far Cry. Not the birds and the bees, Far Cry. In particular, Far Cry 5. We will discuss, well, I can talk about the other ones, but since Kez hasn't played the other ones, it's a bit pointless talking about Far Cry 1, 2, 4. So we'll talk about Far Cry 5, which is the one that we have been playing on our videos. You've seen us playing the game.
No.
Oh wait, no, you've seen Ghost Recon, you haven't seen Far Cry. We'll record some footage, or you'll be watching the footage because you're not going to see our faces. But to get it started, Angel, what did you think, or what do you think of the game? I finished it already, but you haven't. What do you think of the game?
I like the poopy, but I don't understand how a poopy can run next to a car and keep up with a car.
Yeah, there were certain things in the game. I mean, I have to admit that I wasn't exactly a fan of that either. I don't like the running next to a car. They should have just allowed the dog to climb in the damn car. It makes more sense. You know? Granted, I know the bear can't exactly get into the car, but the cougar and the dog could. I like the cougar, to be honest.
I haven't met the kid.
Peaches. Her name is Peach.
I haven't met Peaches.
Peaches is very peachy.
Peachy Keen.
Yes. Indeed. But, yes, so no, the dog, I agree. It's a little bit of a confusing one, why they don't allow them in. I think apparently they do it in Far Cry 6, but since we haven't played that yet, we can't tell. So, and we're not talking about that anyway, we're talking about Far Cry 5. So,
for those of you who don't know the story of Far Cry 5, you fight a very, very mean family, I'm guessing?
Nope. It's actually a cult.
But the leaders of the thing are family people.
Technically, not really though. They claim to be a family, but like most cults, it's how it actually works. So essentially what you are is, or what you're doing is you're fighting against this doomsday cult, which is like every bloody cult out there. The world is always going to end with these doomsday cults, and this is one of them. And they're busy. They've got bunkers going and all that shit so that they can survive this impending nuclear holocaust that they think is going to happen. I'm not going to spoil the story for Kez though. It's something that she needs to see, but essentially that's what they're doing. So they were buying up bunkers, and they were taking over farms and taking all the food, but then they're starting to make people into like super zealots that actually attack anyone and everyone just for not agreeing with their particular cult and their particular ideal. They're a crazy cult, basically. That's what they were. And your objective is to obviously
Stop
them, essentially. That is the entire idea behind it, is that you're supposed to stop them.
I also don't like the flying in the game, and that's why I play with you.
Yeah, that's why Kez plays with me, so that I can fly, because she's not the greatest pilot.
I'm not a good flying person with any
she
game.
just climbs to the back of the plane and shoots whatever comes up behind us. I do all the front shooting, she does all the back shooting.
And it makes me feel sick. I did try and fly the helicopter, but then, because I was playing by myself, to get to a point where I would be sort of even with Ziff, and I tried to fly the helicopter and I couldn't because I got too sick. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one of those things because they expect you to go around and you have to shoot people from while being in the helicopter, and then you have to turn the helicopter so like you can't see my hands, but just imagine if you're flying straight and then you miss your target, you've got to turn around and then go back.
The airplane that you were struggling with. The helicopter you hadn't done. I don't think there was a helicopter mission this year.
Well, the plane, same thing. It's a flying thing. It's a flying thing in the sky, and I don't like it because you have to turn around and then try and catch your enemy again, and the turning around made me sick, and accidentally I did a roll in the sky and my eyes went no.
Yeah. So Kez struggles with flying because of that, because it makes her very sick very quickly. The same reason why she can't play any games on VR. It's for the same reason. Excuse me. But yes, so I do the flying and stuff like that. She does when we do get into those the more military kind of planes, she'll hop into the back and shoot out of the back if a plane comes up behind us and stuff like that.
And I'm getting good at the shooty.
She is. She's getting much better at the shooty. So but yeah, so control wise, I mean, how do you feel about the game? You've played enough FPSs to know, or to give a good understanding of what you feel.
It's better on a controller.
You prefer it on controllers?
Yeah.
I don't like playing FPSs on controllers, to be honest.
I tried and played it with my keyboard and my mouse, and I didn't like it. It's better on a controller. But it's nice that you have the option, because it's on PC, so you can choose.
Yeah. Well, yes, the one that you're playing on PC. Some people play it on console only, so they only have controller, and they find it easier with a controller, which is fine. If you find it easier with a controller, then that's how you play. I'm a mouse and keyboard kind of person, to be honest, so I like to use a mouse and keyboard. But so you find it easier with a controller than you do with a mouse and keyboard. Sorry, brain stopped there for a second. Well, okay. Me, like I said, personally, mouse and keyboard is easier for me. I prefer it. I always have. It's just more comfortable, if you can say it that way. I don't know. It's not as great as some of the FPSs I've played. I always prefer Battlefield 3 is a good example of an FPS that I actually enjoy playing. That actually has good controls.
But Ghost Recon is fun.
It's not an FPS thing.
I think it.
In a quarter of a
First-person
mile,
shooter.
merge onto M8.
Like we said, we're in a car, so we're going home, so you're gonna hear the GPS.
Yeah. It's not a first-person shooter, actually. First-person means you're seeing out of the person's eyes.
But
So
you
that's
can
a third
change it
person.
like that.
No, you can only do that when you're shooting iron sights. It's technically a third-person shooter.
Well, it's still
Continue on M8 for 4 miles.
it's still a shooting game.
Yeah, it is a shooting game, but it's not. It's definitely not an FPS. It's that's not an FPS. Far Cry is, but Ghost Recon technically isn't an FPS.
If it's those kinds of games, then I like the Call of Duty games.
Yeah, that I do know. You prefer Call of Duty. I've always been more of a Battlefield kind of person when it comes to those kinds of games, to FPSs. There's a dude with a Mitsubishi Lancer shooting down the road there. Of course, he's being a tit because he's going straight into traffic. But anyway, yeah. So definitely FPS. You prefer the controller with this one. Like I said, it's not the greatest FPS I've ever played. It's not terrible, but it's not like brilliant, as it were.
Sometimes the controls are sticky though.
I find that the game tends to lag.
It doesn't always work when you push a button. It doesn't push. Or if you push a controller button, it doesn't push.
I feel that the game tends to stutter. It's not always, but it does tend to stutter once in a while. I think it's maybe just the PC version though, because I haven't had that issue on the PlayStation. I haven't seemed to have had the issue on PlayStation. So I think it might just be the PC. Maybe it's just not properly set up or something. I don't know.
But I did try and play it with the mouse and keyboard, and it didn't press the buttons either.
Yeah.
And that's why I went back to using the controller, because it worked a little bit better for me.
And graphics, what do you think about the graphics in the game? Not brilliant.
No.
You've seen better.
Yeah, the grass looks like grass, and the poopy looks like a poopy.
Yeah. Granted,
but everything else.
You haven't really seen much of the game, though. You've only gone through story and stuff like that. I mean, you can go fishing. There's different challenges that you can complete in the game as well. So it's not all
you can talk about it. I probably won't remember what you said, so don't worry about spoiling stuff for me.
That's not spoiling.
If it helps make the show more interesting for everyone else, then that's fine.
I know. So, well, yeah. I mean, like, okay, granted, you're not the biggest fishing fan, but
no,
you
I don't like
you can
fishing.
fish in the game. You can buy different kinds of rods. There's boats in the game. There's cars. There's pretty much everything.
I know there's boats. I bought a boat. Well, you bought a boat, and we went across the river.
I didn't buy a boat. I just took a boat from.
But there was a boat.
Yeah, I just took a boat, grabbed a boat, took it across the river.
Sometimes the cars they give you are silly with the missions that they expect you to do. I don't like that.
You'll have to explain which mission was it that you found was silly.
With the trying to stop the big truck.
You're supposed to stop the big truck with the big truck with the big machine guns on it. You're supposed to use that.
See, I didn't know that until you did it with me.
You've got to use the right tools for the right job. So when you go on a job, you've got to know what you're doing or what the job is first before you just go and...
But they don't give you a lot of information, and that's what I don't like. Like, I want to know a bit more. And they just say, go there and do this, and I don't know.
I mean, it's you're not really playing The Witcher here, so you're not going to get the task to for example, you can prepare for fighting the particular monster that you're going to be fighting. It's not kind of the same thing. This here is more of a go and do, and you have to be prepared for any eventuality kind of a thing. So that's why you generally come loaded with shit tons of weapons. Which is normally what I am. I've got like a rocket launcher, I've got a machine gun, I've got a sniper rifle and a pistol for any time that I might be needing any one of those instruments.
And the enemies get harder to fight because you're a higher level than me. And they go, oh, she must be a high level also. Let's go and play. And then I struggle.
The game is set up to run with you because you're the host. So...
well, then we did something wrong.
It's actually pretty easy for me. So, story-wise, what do you think of the story of the game?
I haven't done much of the story.
What do you think so far?
I want to see if the sheriff lady survives.
The sheriff lady?
Deputy. Yes.
She's no sheriff. She's only a deputy.
Well, sheriff, deputy lady. The police lady, I want to see if she survives. That gives you guys the idea of how far I'm in the game.
Not very.
I don't know if I can comment on it.
Why?
Because I don't think I'm far enough in to have an opinion.
Yeah. Well, I like the story. I think the story is quite good. It's not a terrible story.
I don't like the people.
That's the saving grace of the game, is the story.
If that helps, I don't like the people in the story. I want to see them get their comeuppance.
Well, that's good. But the good thing about the game is that the story is actually very good. I quite enjoy it. I mean, I'm doing a second playthrough, so I obviously enjoy the game. I thought it was quite good. And knowing what I know from the first time round, excuse me, knowing what I know from the first time round just means that I know the story a lot better now, and I know what to do and where to do it. So I also know how to take on the story. First time I played it, I didn't play through the main story, which I think that's stupid to me. Is that if you do other missions on the side, it basically completes the main mission for you. That's dense. You should be allowed to complete the main missions separately and have the side quests, or side quests and main missions separate, so that...
Now see, I don't like that, because every time I want to do a mission, you say no, you can't do it because of this.
It's going to screw the story up. Yeah, I don't like that. I think it's stupid, because basically that kills off the entire story. So you don't get to see the other stories unless you play the main story only, and then play the side quests later. You know, I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer to actually go. You know, I like to do other things. You know that.
You should be allowed to do what you want to.
You're allowed to do what you want to. But what I'm saying is, what I don't like is that you'll miss key parts of the story if you just do and do a side mission.
But then you're not allowed to do what you want to do, and they should have a thing that says, if you want to see how the story goes, only do this and this. For people that don't have someone like you, who say no, don't do that.
Yeah, because basically if you take over one of those...
keep it locked until the story is finished.
You think?
And then say, okay, now that your story is finished, you can now go and do all these things.
Yeah, or just keep them completely separate so that they don't actually screw up the main story. Simple as that. Like taking over or liberating places. I don't believe that. I think it's stupid that when you liberate a place, it advances the main story. It shouldn't do that. You should be doing the main story and then liberating whenever you feel like it. If you want to liberate, you can liberate. If you don't, you don't. But it shouldn't affect the main story. That's just stupid. So that I don't like that part of it. I think it's very badly done. So again, my opinion, I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like that kind of gameplay. I feel that it rips you right out of the game if you suddenly the story advances and you don't even realize that it's advanced.
I don't like it because I want to do those things, and I kept being told no.
Yeah.
You have to do something else.
I kept telling you, if you want to see the story, you don't want to actually do that. If you want to understand how all of this works, you don't want to do that. Because they advance the story. I get it. They advance the story so that you see Jacob, for example, takes you and stuff like that. But once that's done, all of those main quests that you had are gone. You can't do them. It's silly. It's like you want to know what happens in those main quests, those main quest lines, but you can't do them if you go and liberate places. If you just go and liberate places, then you miss out on a whole bunch of story. I don't like it. I think it's very silly.
I haven't finished the game. I'm not very far in the game, so we might do another one like with Hogwarts, where we come back in a few months. I don't know. But out of Meow Cakes, at the moment, I give it a 5.
Okay.
Just because it's not a WoW game. It's not something I really want to play.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It doesn't make you really want to play it, and the fact that you have to play it a specific way, and the graphics. The poopy saves it, so we'll make it a 6.
Okay, well, for me as well, it's also a 6. Not a great game, not a bad game though. I don't mind it. I have played better games. And I tend to go back to those games, to the better games that I played. So Yeah, not
I
bad.
like
not
the
good.
music in the game because as we're talking, the starting calming song is playing in my head, which is nice. But that shouldn't be the saving grace of a game.
No, it should never be the saving grace of a game. Music is just an aesthetic for the game. It shouldn't be anything more than that. But yes, I agree. So, there you go. 6s all around from us.
It's a short episode, guys.
Very short one,
Sorry,
yeah.
but we're driving and thought we would do something while we're driving. That's a little bit different as well.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. That's about it, really. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, remember, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. It always helps us. And maybe leave a comment if you really want to. You can. You don't have to, but it would be nice. But as always, remember,
Keep.
keep it geeky. Bye.